What's up, my beard bros? Maine-iac here, and I just wanted to go over my fantasy draft for the NBA. It's my first draft in a while. It's a 7-team format. We tried putting it together a 10-team format, but we couldn't fill the last few managerial spots. So let me know what you think of my roster in the comment section down below. If I should make any moves, also let me know. I'm going to be using this as a platform to maybe go over some help. My starting lineup goes as this. At point guard, we have the Stephen Curry, who, if I go to projections right now, he's projected to get me 35 points a game, which is incredible. And we're going to just go down the roster. I could stay at the same team because I do have members on the same team, but I want to go properly down the roster. At shooting guard, we have Donovan Mitchell because I think he's going to be incredible. He's projected to get 29.4 points per game, which should be solid. I think he is probably my steal of the draft. I think I got him around the 3rd round, something like that, which I honestly think with his potential, and even in a 7-team format, drafting him in the 3rd round where I drafted because I was drafting 6th overall, that's roughly 20th or somewhere around there, which I think he could definitely be a top 20 player, so I think it was a good deal. One of my later picks was small forward. I didn't really pick any up early in the draft, and I think that hurt me a little bit. I did pick one up earlier, and you'll see this, but I'm playing them at a different position because they're a combo forward. I have Otto Porter. Not projected to do well, but I don't really have too many options, and I think he'll get opportunities in the Wizards' offense. At the point, I picked him in like the 6th or 7th round, somewhere around there, maybe even 8th. So there wasn't a ton of options left at small forward, and I needed obviously someone at that position. And originally I had drafted him as one of my utility players as backup, but after a roster change, moving my the starting small forward to power forward, I had to slide him in. Now speaking of my starting small forward, Kevin Durant, I got him, I believe, in the 2nd round because where I was drafting 6 in the snake format, I drafted 6th and 9th. So my first 2 picks were Steph Curry and Kevin Durant. So I moved Kevin Durant to power forward because on the ESPN fantasy app, if you're doing it through basketball, you can move Kevin Durant to power forward. And I think out of all the power forwards in the game, he has the most potential. Even if he's not playing power forward, I'm going to take advantage of that because power forward is one of those weak points in fantasy basketball where if you can slide someone in that's at a position that probably averages more points, I'm going to take it. And Kevin Durant, he is lethal. Now, at center, we have someone I talk about a lot when I play these games and when I do these NBA 2K videos. We have Joel Embiid. So yes, I actually got the top 2 Warrior players, the top Jazz rated player, the top 76er rated player, and Otto Porter. Joel Embiid is my starting center. His rebounding potential and his scoring potential is incredible. He is projected to get 32.2 points. That is literally on my roster only behind Durant and Curry, which is incredible. I think he's going to continue to improve as well. Now, for backups, I didn't have a lot of luck with backups. Drafting backups, I wanted to go more big men backups, but I couldn't really draft them too much. So my first guard, I should say, because this is where you can draft either point guard or shooting guard, I got Drew Holiday. Now, I'm going to go over my thinking here. I thought he's a good scorer, good presence. He's not the number 1 option, and he has Mirotic there. So Mirotic should open up some opportunities for him, so should Anthony Davis. But he is a combo guard. He can be slotted in at the point guard or shooting guard. So I figured if anything happened to Mitchell or Curry, I could very well slide in Drew Holiday and basically not have to pick up a free agent that's not that great. So I thought that was a good pick there. Now, for my backup forward position, we got to go to a team that I honestly never thought I would pick up a player from. This was literally, I think, one of my last picks. I think this was one of my last 3 picks, and I think it was actually not too bad. As you can see here, we got Taurean Prince. Did I draft him? No. Did I draft John Collins? Yes. John Collins, I drafted him. I thought he had potential. He had a decent rookie season. He's not projected to do too well. Only overall, probably 1,700 points is what ESPN projects him at. But like I said, the forward market at this point in the draft, where I started mainly on guards and stuff, wasn't too great. I do kind of regret it, but you know, there's not much you can do. And I like drafting some unheralded players, especially when most of the time they're probably going to be riding the bench. So it's like this. I approach fantasy football the same way. Sometimes I draft a player who has potential more than like who's solid. And for my forward center spot to round out the actual position-based lineup, I have Josef Nurkic of the Portland Trailblazers. I figured he can do well if he can improve his three-point game to match up with Nurkic or match up with Lillard and McCollum. That should get me a lot of points. He rebounds well. He doesn't really play defense well, but he plays inside defense well. He doesn't play anything else. He's more inside based, but rebounds, those putbacks could get me those points I need to win, which could be clutch. Now, as our rules in our league, we have 2 utility players. So who did I draft to be my utility players? Now, we go back to the Wizards, and who did I draft late, or not late, this was one of my earlier picks, but where I had already so many guards, I shuffled him to utility. I think he was actually my 4th guard taken, or 3rd guard taken. Bradley Beal. Now, he has incredible scoring potential. He went off last year when John Wall was out, so it's interesting to see how he does. Might end up trading him away if anybody's interested in that. Should be good to see. And for our second utility player, I went with someone I probably shouldn't have drafted, but as I said before, the power forward position is thin, and this was originally my starting power forward until I moved Durant in position, and you will see why. Paul Millsap suffered a terrible injury last year, came back. To me, the Nuggets are a mystery. They have potential to be really good, but Millsap's one of those players. He can be hot or cold, so I put Durant at power forward, put him at utility so I could swap him out with anybody else. And hopefully, he's in utility. Basically, he's gonna be would have been riding the bench for me, but one of my bench players is currently out for the first few weeks. But I took a risk on him anyway because of his potential as well. Now, our first bench pick, because we're only allowed 3 bench players, which makes it really tough, but makes it really fun, is from the Los Angeles Lakers. Now, who would I draft from the Lakers? Well, I'll give you a hint. It's someone I mentioned in a video just not too long ago. Lonzo Ball. He is our first bench point guard. Now, my thinking here was I went over it with the 5 things to watch video. If you want, go look at that. I had fun making it. But his free throw shooting. How this fantasy league works is you get deducted points for misses and stuff like that. So I wanted to stash Lonzo Ball. He was a late round pick. I wanted to stash him. Figured I gotta have 3 people riding the pine anyway. If Lonzo Ball can show improvement, if that shot motion I was talking about pays off, and if he actually did improve it, and he can up his scoring, keep us consistent with his assists and rebounds, and keep up his free throw shooting, I'm definitely going to be thinking about putting him in a utility spot or maybe a backup guard spot. And that works out because if you think about the 45% shooting or something like that, if you get plus 1 point for a made free throw and minus 1 point for a missed free throw, 45% you're actually losing points when he goes to the free throw line, which is never good. Even at 66%, 70%, you're actually gaining points. So year long, if he can improve it, I'm going to be happy to have drafted him. Like I said, it was low risk. It was probably like 2nd to last round, 3rd to last round, so it wasn't too bad. And then the reason why we have to play Paul Millsap is because of someone we have that's hurt, and that would be Lauri Markkanen. So we drafted like the number 1 or 2 player from a lot of teams, but granted there's 30 teams in the league, so that's easy to do. And I could have went with other players like Jabari Parker or something like that, but Markkanen is hurt, and I felt like he was worth the risk because when I was late in the draft and I'm like, I need more forward backup, I need a rotation in case of injuries. He had potential last year. He showed me at 7 foot, he has range. As you can see, a 7-footer with a B+ 3-point shooting is rare in NBA 2K. He's good player. He's good defensively. He's getting better defensively, I should say. He's good offensively. He can carry this team, and he's going to get the opportunities because he's most likely going to be the number one option in this offense. And I like it. I like his potential. Now, lastly, the last player, and I think he was pick 15 in the draft. Actually, I got to go over a roster move I made before, but this is my current roster. Sorry, I had to go here. Boom! Pistons. Who did I draft from the Pistons? Why would I want Andre Drummond? Why would I want Blake Griffin? I got stuck with Reggie Jackson. Not exactly happy about it, but he's depth at the point guard position. In case Lonzo Ball doesn't pan out, at least I have Reggie Jackson there to make up for it. Now, I'm trying to find if I can look at roster moves that have already been made. Recent activity. Yeah, I actually didn't draft Jusuf Nurkic. That's a mistake. Who I drafted was Kevin Knox of the Knicks. And I explained my hole at power forward. So I thought getting Nurkic would have been a good deal. And getting Kevin Knox back, I knew there was a guy in my league that wanted Kevin Knox. And I figured, scoop him up, maybe he has something to trade for me. This was like 4th to last round, 5th to last round, something like that. Figured it was worth it. Got Jusuf Nurkic back, which to me was incredible. Incredible. I'm trying to look back and see if any other moves happened, and I didn't necessarily make any other moves. So that was the only one thing I had to make a slight correction on, was I did actually acquire Nurkic through a trade. I had drafted Knox from the Knicks, but sorry, my alphabet in my head is messed up. But if you look at Knox, even on NBA 2K, he's only a 75 overall. He has great potential. Rookies don't really necessarily get a good rating here. As you can see, he's kind of average until he starts playing. This is one of those players that, to me, had great potential. He plays a position to where if he can start shining, he's probably going to pass Hardaway and Lee, whoever's playing small forward, and get the nod there. And that will create opportunities there. I think, overall, I would have been happy keeping Knox. I would have been a little nervous of starting him as a rookie because sometimes it does take rookies a couple weeks to adjust. But overall, with the trade, I'm happy. Nurkic is a great inside player. I wanted another player who could get those rebounds because rebounding points does help a lot. Anyway, that's my fantasy draft. Very interesting roster. Full of superstars, but everybody's roster is really good in this one. Now, if there is a player you think I should try to trade, give me a trade target, and I'll see if I can actually get it to work. Anyway, guys, thank you for watching. Don't forget to leave a like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.